if USCIS approves your petition and they reinstate your Form I-130, wherever you were in the immigration process, you continue from there. So you don't have to continue from the beginning. So let's say you were at MVC waiting to be documentarily qualified and your petitioner died. Automatically, your petition was revoked. But if it's reinstated, you start off from that MVC stage. You don't have to start afresh. But if it's rejected, then now you need to look for a new petitioner. Everything you did up to that stage is pretty much wasted. It's wasted time. It's done. It's a done deal. That's it. You can't do anything with it. So now you have to find a new petitioner.
Guys, I welcome you live on SBTV International. Today, guess who I have here? Every week I've been bringing a lawyer, Abba. She's based in the US. She's an attorney, and I bring her on the show to educate us and those who need lawyers. If you need a lawyer in the US or you are outside the US and you need her to help you, you can just contact her. She's very good. So let me go and have a chat with lawyer Abba on my show. Lawyer, I welcome you live on SBTV International. How are you doing?
Oh, thank you, DJ. I'm well. And you?
Good. I'm also good. Last week, we didn't see you. What happened?
Oh, DJ, forgive me. So I had like a golf tournament networking event with judges and lawyers. So I had to go.
Okay. How was it? Do you play golf yourself?
No, I don't. I just went to drink wine and
you just went there for networking.
Just for networking. And most of them you speak with them on the phone so they can finally add a face, to the name. So yes.
Oh, okay. So lawyer, today you are here. So guys, if it's your first time, I've been hosting on my show every week. You see a video. So make sure you tap on subscribe so that when we upload video, you get notification. If you have any questions, you can just contact her on social media handles. It's Abba_immigration attorney on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. And also you can WhatsApp her. Before the end of the show, I will let her mention her WhatsApp number. So lawyer, what do you have for us today?
Oh, okay, DJ. So today is coming out of a series of questions that I've been getting, especially for people who their petitioners die before either they are given the green card or the immigrant visa. So after the death, with death is an unpleasant thing. And then at that time, they are confused about the process. They don't know if they should continue or if at that point there's no hope for them. So after I got a series of questions, I decided, I'll just have a brief review of the pathway for you if unfortunately that happens to you, if there's a way you can still proceed with the process so that eventually you can either move here or you can get your green card if you're living here.
Okay. So lawyer, over to you. Let's hear from you.
Thank you, DJ. Okay, so as I indicated earlier, this is just a brief overview of the pathway available for you if your petitioner dies after the approval of the Form I-130. We all know that form is the petition that they file with USCIS that allows you, the beneficiary, to be able to move here as an immigrant, or if you're already here, you adjust your status and get your green card and become a permanent resident. So then what happens when, after the petitioner has filed that form has been approved and you are still in the process and then the petitioner dies? Is there an alternative? Is there a pathway? What do you have to do? So basically for spouses of US citizens, I always say that they always have a special program for them. So let's say if you become a widow or a widower of a US citizen who dies, whilst, after the petition has been approved, or while sometimes it's even pending, or even in cases where it hasn't even been filed, if you're the spouse of a US citizen, you have 2 years to self-petition yourself through that process. And you need not even be living in the US. You can also be outside of the US, and you would go through the consular processing as well. But it's time bound. So it has to be done within 2 years of the person's death. And you need to show a bona fide marriage. It's almost like if the person had filed for you the documents that you need to add to show you're in a valid marriage. I mean, you had a consistent thing, you were living with a person and you are not remarried. So, as a widow or widower of a US citizen, if something as unfortunate as that happens to you, you can self petition by yourself, continue the process within 2 years. If you don't, and I mean, then you fall into the new category that I'm going to discuss. And if you don't within the 2 years, then it has to be on an approved I-130 at the time the petitioner died. So if the petitioner had not filed for you, then after the 2 year period, unfortunately for you, you're bad. You would need to find another way to obtain your green card. So that's that's the quick one on spouses of US citizens. But for everybody else, let's say you had a parent who filed for you, a child who or a sibling who filed the petition on on your behalf, basically, and that petition was approved. And whilst you were in the process, unfortunately the petitioner died. That is whoever your relative was passed away before the approval of the after the approval of the form I-130. Is there a way out for you? Under the law, once the petitioner dies, the petition is automatically revoked. You cannot do anything with that petition because it's based on a relationship. The whole essence of that form is based on the relationship. So if the person dies, then the petition is automatically revoked. But sometimes, of course, the government understands that revoking that can lead to harsh results. So that there's a pathway that has been created that you would need to file to convince the government that they should reinstate your petition. And that's what they call the humanitarian reinstatement. And I mean, the process is in the name. Because by law, if you're going to go legally, your petition is revoked. But because of the harsh results that that revocation would have on you, would have on your family unit, there's this humanitarian reinstatement. It's humanitarian reinstatement is not a form. It's not something that say you could go to USCIS and download and complete. It's not. It's almost like I would always say a motion or a brief, because you would have to lay out arguments to the government to let them reinstate your petition, because it's the Attorney General who has the discretionary power to reinstate that petition for you. So it's very discretionary. You cannot appeal, it cannot be reviewed. There's no process of that. Once the decision is made, that's it. So, in putting together your humanitarian reinstatement, I would always advise that if you could find an attorney to guide you in that process, that would be great, just because they're great with declarations and motion writing, and they can better listen to your story and craft it into words and into what is being given out, so you can fit into the criteria and the parameters for the grant of this humanitarian reinstatement. So the first thing you would need for this reinstatement is you'll need a substitute sponsor. That is that is non-negotiable. You need a substitute sponsor, because the substitute sponsor is stepping into the shoes of the petitioner who passed away. And it is this substitute sponsor who would also complete your affidavit of support to tell the government that they're going to be responsible for you until you become a US citizen or you acquire 40 quarters of work. So the substitute sponsor, fortunately for reinstatement, the range of people who can be substitute sponsors is really broad. So it can be a parent, It can be a sibling. It can be a brother-in-law, a sister-in-law, son-in-law, daughter-in-laws. All the in-laws that you have, they can step in as a substitute sponsor. It can be a sibling, a sister or a brother. It can be a grandparent. It can even be a grandchild. All of these people can be substitute sponsors, basically telling the government that they're going to step into the shoes of the petitioner and they're going to take over your application and ensure that you come in and you do not become a burden to the US government. So, as I initially said, it's a discretionary benefit. But in putting together that petition, there are some things that would act as positive factors. So, what do we mean when we say positive factors? So, things like the impact of the death on US citizen relatives. So, I gave an example, or I'll give an example. So, let's say your mom passes away, your mom is living with your dad. And sometimes these petitions take so long. So, our parents, literally grow old whilst waiting for us to immigrate into the United States. So your dad was probably taking care of your mother. They have health concerns. They're probably doing hospital visits every other day. They already have underlying issues, underlying concerns. But because they had both parents living together, so they could support each other through this whole process. If unfortunately one passes away, I mean, sometimes you have only one parent being able to drive. So that's the one parent who is doing the drive for all these hospital visits, assisting, going from specialist to specialist. And if you have this primarily caregiver really passing away, then it's going to have a huge impact on that parent who is living now. So that if they have a child who is living outside of the US, then it will be a positive factor if that child is they reinstate the petition so that child can move into the US to assist the other parent who is now struggling because the caregiver or the one parent who was primarily the caregiver has passed away. And because at the end of the day, you don't want your parents to also be burdened. And if the child can move here, can work whilst at the same time ensuring the other parent is cared for, then it's a positive factor. It's something that you can add into your petition to let them know, I mean, that it just makes sense that you would have to bring that child to the US. That's just one example. So no matter what, it's situation specific because no two people have the same things happening to them. Every family has a scenario that, so based on what is happening within the family, that is what you let them know so they can reinstate your petition. And I mean, of course, at the end of the day, the whole purpose of these petitions is family reunification. So where you have, I mean, instances where, let's say, parent and some siblings live here, other siblings live outside of the US, and they're all trying to come together and live together. That's the whole purpose of these family petitions. It's just reunification. So if the person who was petitioning passes away, then you are pleading or letting them know that to still forge ahead with this whole reunification, it would make sense that the it's a separated family, that those who are outside of the US do come in, so you have the family units together. And other things like even the beneficiary, you, the one who is seeking the reinstatement, your health or your age. It's all these are all positive factors. As I said, sometimes we wait for a very long time for the approval because, of course, government they take forever to send in the approval, and the whole process is not so simple. It takes a lot of years. So over time, you, the beneficiary, of course, you're growing. So depending on your age at the time they started, especially even if you're doing like siblings, it takes between some 15 to 23 years in order for that from start to finish is a long time. So the impact on you, the beneficiary, your age, your health, all of that comes into play when you're trying to put together a petition for the reinstatement. So as I indicated, the reason why this reinstatement is sought is because it enables you to keep your place in queue, if I can put it that way. Because if they reinstate, if USCIS approves your petition and they reinstate your Form I-130, wherever you were in the immigration process, you continue from there. So you don't have to continue from the beginning. So let's say you were at MVC waiting to be documentarily qualified and your petitioner died. Automatically, your petition was revoked. But if it's reinstated, you start off from that MVC stage. You don't have to start afresh. But if it's rejected, then now you need to look for a new petitioner. Everything you did up to that stage is pretty much wasted. It's wasted time. It's done. It's a done deal. That's it. You can't do anything with it. So now you have to find a new petitioner. But if you get it reinstated, wherever you were in the queue, you continue from there. So that's why it's such a good option, because all that time that you had spent is still saved, and then you can continue. So if you are in that process, and as I always say, it really doesn't even matter if the person died, 5, 6, 7 years ago, you can always file for a reinstatement. You can always do that, so long as you get your substitute sponsor, you get your facts in place, you get your paperwork and the motion or the brief done, we send it off to USCIS. Unfortunately, timing-wise, we really can't give you timelines just because it's a discretionary benefit. So off the top of my head, can take between 12 to 24 months. Anything between that time, it's up to them. If USCIS decides to process it. And just a quick tip, so you will send this to the USCIS Service Center that granted your initial approval. That's where this petition will be sent to. But it's up to them as to how quick. If it's not a priority for that service center, unfortunately, you just have to wait. But after they look at it and they approve it, hooray, you can always continue with the process wherever you got to. So as I told DJ, I mean, today was basically just to let people know, as I have gotten a bunch of those questions, let people know that there is a way out. But especially my warning to the widowers of US citizens, you guys, because you have a special process, it's still time barred. So just make sure that there's an avenue available to you if unfortunately your spouse passes away. It's an avenue available to you, but it's time barred. So just make sure you self-petition within 2 years of your spouse's death. And then you can come in with your visa or proceed with your green card. But basically that's the process to soften the blow of grief after the death of your petitioner. If you have any other questions, I'll be glad to answer. DJ, I'm done.
Thank you so much, Lawyer Abba. Lovely one, champion lawyer. Thank you so much. She's based in the US. So if you want to reach her, you can just contact her. Her numbers are on the screens, or you can WhatsApp her. You can also follow her on social media handles as Abba_immigration attorney on Instagram, on TikTok, and also on Facebook. Lawyer, thank you so much. What's your WhatsApp line? Those who want to reach you on WhatsApp.
Okay, so
I
my
know
WhatsApp line is
the number on the screen is different from your WhatsApp number, right?
Yes, it is. So my
what's your
WhatsApp number is
number?
+1 815 258 8727.
Can you mention it again?
Sure, +1 815 258 8727.
Thank you so much, Lawyer Abba. Enjoy your weekend. Hope to see you next week. Eh?
Yes.
I hope you are not going to tell us that you are going to play golf.
Oh, I'll be here next week, DJ.
Thank you so much, Lawyer Abba. Hope to see you next week again. Okay.
Okay, DJ, take care.
Okay. Okay. So thank you guys for watching SBTV International. My name is DJ Nyame. So every week I'll be bringing lawyer Abba. She's based in the US, as I said. If you just join our channel, make sure you tap on subscribe so you don't miss our videos. Drop your comments, drop your questions, and share to your friends. Invite your friends to join us. If you want to come on my show too, my numbers are always on their screens. We have 2 channels. We have our SBTV Africa and SBTV International. This is our English channel, and we have the SBTV Africa for our local dialects. So I mean, we make sure we serve you here and there. So Charlie, link up. If you want to come on my show, if you know anyone that wants to share his or her story or experience, link up. Let's vibe. Thank you so much. Peace out. Tour.